Do you have some vinyl shutters on your house that look sad and faded? If so, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you my simple 3-step painting process that will make them look amazing, and it doesn't involve taking them down. How about that? Yo, what's cracking, folks? Jeremy Vassar here, and I've painted hundreds of shutters over the years, and most of them have been the vinyl variety, which is what I'm going to cover in this video. So let's get into it with step number 1. So the first step is our prep out phase. The only thing I typically do for these types of shutters is make sure they are clean and free of debris. A lot of the time, since it's exterior work, they've got some bugs on them, spider webs or other things on them. I've noticed on these types of shutters, a lot of times they have little like black dots on them. Like little schmutz. I don't know what that is exactly, but I just sand that off with 150 grit sandpaper and then just wipe it down, and then they are ready to go. Once the shutters are all clean, I'll throw down some drop cloths underneath my working area, and then it's go time. If you're painting some shutters on your house, then you might also be painting your front door to match them. You can see how I paint front doors in my free front door mini course that you can get by joining our online community, which is also free, called Paint Your Home Now. I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to check it out. Onward to step number 2, which is to apply our first coat of paint, and my favorite paint to use for this application is Benjamin Moore's More Glow Soft Gloss, applied with a 2.5-inch Corona Cortez brush. One of the biggest challenges you'll have painting shutters while they're up, aside from brush control and things I'm going to cover in a second, is just accessing the shutter. So for the lower shutters on the ground level, I was able to get everything with a 6-foot ladder, and then for the shutters that were on the second story, I was able to get everything with a 24-foot extension ladder. Once I have access to the shutters, I start by painting all of the edges of the shutter that is up against the house. And one more side note on prep, if you are less confident in your brush control, then you can use some tape and tape out the perimeter of the shutter, which will give you a bit of a safety net so you don't tag the siding or whatever the shutter is mounted to. I'm pretty comfortable with this, so I didn't do that on this job, but there's nothing wrong if you need to do that. So once the sides have been coated, and I do try to not have too much rollover from when I paint the sides on the actual face of the shutter, but once that's all done, then I will start with the top panel. And just like I paint a grained 6-panel door, I'm going to follow the grain pattern of the shutter. I do kind of the outline of the panel, make sure that's nice and smooth, and then I will brush out the inside of the panel. Then I'll move to the rail, the top piece that's right above that, and then start working down the sides. And then once I'm doing that, then I jump into the second panel, the lower panel, and do the same pattern as I did on the top. Then I'll do that middle piece, and then just keep bringing the paint down and keeping everything wet as I do that. And then once I've got that first coat done, I'm gonna just take a quick scan and see if there's any heavy build spots, any drips that have formed, anything like that, and I'll brush that out, and then I'm gonna move on to the next shutter. And now we're ready for step number 3, which is to apply our second coat of paint on the shutters. And in general, when I'm painting shutters, I'll first coat 4 of them, and by the time I get done the 4th one, the first one's ready to go again. Depends on drying conditions. If it's a little bit colder out, the paint may take a little bit longer to set up, but as long as it is dry to the touch, so when you touch the surface of the shutter, nothing's coming off on your fingers, you're in general ready to rip a second coat. This job had 8 shutters, so I did 4, and then I recoated those 4, and then I moved on to the next section. It just made sense with my ladder positioning and how I was set up. But before I start a second coat, I'll check and see if anything needs to be sanded or addressed. Since you're painting outside, sometimes bugs and leaves will blow into the drying paint, and you kind of just flick those things out and then get it ready to go. But once the shutter is ready to be painted again, then I'll do the exact same pattern I did before, coat the sides, and then follow the grain pattern of the shutter, working from top to bottom. Start with the panels, work my way down. And just keep in mind the second coat is going to go on quicker than the first because you're laying down soft gloss over top of itself, so you're just going to get better spread. But doing a second coat ensures that the shutter has a uniform and solid looking finish. Once the second coat is done, then all that's left to do is to clean up my drops, rack the ladders, and that's job done. If you're painting shutters, then you may also have some other exterior painting to do. You can check this video out right over here for 5 quick tips that will help you paint your exterior faster. Until next time, take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.